All right, what's going on, guys? So today I want to talk to you about how to actually increase your power production inside your knee strikes, whether it be Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA. The entire reason on actually increasing your force production throughout the knees are going to come from the psoas and hip flexors. But first, we need to utilize some methodologies that can help you increase your force production coming from these muscles and from that force displacement. So first and foremost, we're going to go over the focus points. Now, before you start to increase strength, before you start to work on the muscle, we need to work on the nervous system. So we want to improve on the neuromuscular response, and we're going to do this by a method called Reflexive Performance Reset, and I'll go into more detail about this later, okay? Then we want to make sure that we're improving on the mobility and flexibility of the hips and of the psoas. So we're going to utilize functional range conditioning and active range control in those ranges of movement. Then we're going to go ahead and improve our strength and stability, obviously, of the psoas, hip flexors, hips in general, so that we can produce that power going further. Again, we want to increase speed and velocity. When you're looking at it from a physics standpoint, again, like I always say, power equals force times velocity. So we need to make sure we're increasing that force production through strength exercises and then increasing the velocity through high speed, high dynamic movement patterns. All right, let's go into some exercises and let's go into the methodologies. Okay, so for the first methodology that we're going to utilize is going to be that reflexive performance reset. Again, we can't produce force without the nervous system, so we need to turn on that neuromuscular response to increase force production to help with your power inside your knee strikes. So first and foremost, we're going to work off of reflexive performance reset, and we're going to do a psoas reset. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to palpate around the psoas. Now the psoas runs very large, so you're not going to actually hit the psoas in general. We're just going to make sure that we're rubbing around there so that we can increase range of motion, so that we can actually get that nervous system response, almost let that tightness go so that you can produce force. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands, you're going to feel where your belly button is, you're going to go an inch out and then an inch down. You're going to take two fingers and you're going to rub down the sides in a 45-degree manner. You can do this for 8 to 10 reps and make sure that you're breathing diaphragmatically, making sure that you're getting big, deep belly breaths all the way through the lumbar spine. Okay, so after the psoas, we're going to move on to the quadricep muscles. And basically what we're going to make sure that we're doing is we're going to take our hands, make fists, get those thumbs up and out of the fists. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take where that space is between the bottom rib and the hip, and you're going to rub throughout the entire range from the anterior all the way back, almost basically cutting your body in half, right? So you're going to make sure that you're doing that about 2 to 3 times inside that space between the rib and the hip itself. Okay, so the next reset that we're going to utilize and do is going to be on the ASIS or hip bone itself. So you're going to take 2 hands, right, on both sides, make fists and make sure your thumbs are sticking out. You're going to find your hips, right, and on the top of the hips, you're going to go ahead and just basically rub down the hips on the top all the way through and then back around, making sure that you get full range of motion throughout the entire hip. Do not go on top of the hip. You want to go right on the surface. All right, you're going to do this once or twice around, and that will be your reset for your hips. All right, so for the last reset, we're going to work on the abdominals. So basically what you're going to do, this is kind of everybody's favorite, but we're going to get into a split stance, right? Opening up or externally rotating the hips, making sure that you can get inside the legs. And you're basically going to karate chop the legs up and down from the upper groin area all the way into your vastus medialis. So you're just going to karate chop it up and down 3 reps, and then you're going to rub the inside vigorously until it gets nice and warm. All right, then from there you're ready to go to move on to your mobility. Now we're going to utilize functional range conditioning. You've seen me do this in the past. If you haven't, check out my videos before this. Okay, so we're going to utilize hip controlled articular rotations to actually gain those ranges and improve those ranges throughout the range of motion of the hip. Okay, also we're going to utilize a passive end range hold in hip flexion because we want to increase the strength and stability in that flexion of the hip flexor. So as I bring my knee up, I want to make sure that I'm nice and strong and stable so that I can produce force there and so that, you know, I don't get injured whether it be when I throw my knees at a high force output. Okay, so here it goes. Okay, so for the controlled articular rotations of the hip capsule, we're gonna do about 2 to 3 sets, making sure that you are going through it throughout the entire range of motion, making sure that you're creating irradiation or tightness into the entire body, clenching your fist, locking down your core, and you're making sure that you're not compensating through the bottom leg or leaning back or leaning forward as you go through your rotations. Okay, so now for the passive end range hold for that hip flexion, we're gonna do about 2 to 3 reps. You're gonna go ahead and pull that knee up into passive end range, so pull it to its flexibility state. Then from there, you're gonna irradiate your entire body, lock it down, core tight, let off, and hold for a 2 to 3 second count, okay? And then you'll repeat that for about 2 sets. Make sure you take a little bit of rest in between your sets. All right, so going into the strength exercises. So we're gonna utilize the muscles of the abs, the hip flexors, the entire psoas complex, also the quadriceps. So hanging knee raise. Now this can be done with ankle weights on, or you can strap a band to the top part of your foot if you want to increase the tension there going up into that flexion state. But if you're going to go ahead and increase the intensity, make sure that you bring down the volume. Now for this, without any type of overload on the body, we're going to do about 3 to 4 sets ranging around 10 to 15 repetitions. You can do that from an elbow hanging or even a hanging with the hands. Next one, we're going to do a mini band dead bug. So you're going to take a mini band, you're going to strap it around your feet, and then you're gonna go into one knee's gonna be flexed, the other leg is gonna be straightened out, and we're gonna make sure that we have some sort of external load in our hands to make sure that we're maintaining our posture in our spine so we're not compensating and getting into a extended lumbar. So we're gonna lock down our core and we're gonna bring and drive our knee to our chest while you go ahead and you extend the other leg. So you're actually gonna get a unilateral effect with this movement pattern. All right, for the repetition and sets, we're gonna make sure that we're doing 3 to 4 sets, around 10 repetitions on each leg, okay? Next one, we're gonna do a weighted 2-leg mountain climber with the plates on the toes. So you're actually gonna utilize the weights for more external load. As you go to slide those knees up into your chest, make sure that you're maintaining a neutral spine and you're not compensating and rounding out the back. So you're gonna do 3 to 4 sets with 10 reps for both legs. Okay, and lastly, how to increase your power production. Now, again, with the power production, you wanna make sure that you're moving very fast, right? So that is making sure that you're increasing your velocities. Now, with the power output, you wanna make sure that you're utilizing the sport. So you're actually gonna be doing your skills and drills on the pads itself. So throwing those knees against those Muay Thai pads are going to be more beneficial than just trying to load the process going into, let's face it, more sport specific movements. So what you want to do is you want to do your bag work, you want to do your pad work, and you want to make sure that you're throwing those knees at a high force, high velocity fashion. Again, you can also use weighted box jumps with ankle weights on your body so that you can increase that force production, increase that rate of force production and speed velocity going into that box jump. All right, so you can utilize that at least 2 to 3 times per week, especially if you're in fight camp, getting closer to the fight. We're gonna be focusing more on power production and sport specificity. You can find out more details on that in my later videos that I did beforehand. Again, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm in a rush today. Sorry if I went through it too fast. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Hit the comments down below. I'll be sure to answer them. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting my channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so. Make sure you hit the notifications so you know when my videos come out. I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. I'm out.